Amphibia is a show I meant to talk about. I'm going to talk about this show in the Owl House in full videos, reviews, because I find that just easier to do. And they both have sequel comic continuations coming out this year that I'll also be talking about. So let's talk about Amphibia first. I wanted to talk about this one first because this is the longer show. Also, I just had an itch to rewatch this show. And man, I was shocked by how quickly I binged it because I literally started this show like a week and a half ago. And this is like a 58 episode series, okay? And if you don't know me, I don't binge shows, okay? I watch one episode a day until I'm finished. I'm literally doing that with One Piece, and I just started the show. I'm like not even at episode 50 yet of that show. I'm watching every episode of The Simpsons and doing that. So, believe me when I tell you that I binge watched this whole show in a week and a half, that should tell you how much I love this show. People like to compare this show to The Owl House because they're sister shows that aired on the same network and have a lot of similar traits and stuff. But I think this was the better show because it was just the more complete show. I was actually dreading rewatching season 1. Maybe not so much dreading, but I was a little concerned watching season 1 again because I was really worried. Like, I've seen all these episodes before. I think I've seen them at least twice. At least in the first season. Not so much season 2 and 3. Season 3, but it's really worth that. Wait, am I going to not enjoy these as much? To my surprise, I enjoyed it a shit ton more. Because now watching all those episodes with the context of the whole story of the show, you see how brilliant those first few episodes. Because normal shows like Amphibia have to deal with network executives, and what happens is they will come to these people, pitch a show that's an ongoing story-driven cartoon, and these executives will come in and say, "Yeah, but we still need to air reruns. We still need to do that." And they'll say, "Fuck you! I have an ongoing story," but they still have to listen to the executives. So they create message of the week episodes that hint to a greater story. Steven Universe does this, for example. But what's actually brilliant about Amphibia is, yes, while it was doing that, none of the episodes were actually filler. Because the lessons that Anne learns would stick in the next episode. Like, a great example of the show is, I forget, it must have been like episode 6 or something like that. The first 6 episodes, Anne did not explain how she got to Amphibia. She's a human in this world of frogs. Didn't explain how she got there yet. And she was just kind of moved in with the planters. She worked to form a bond with them. And she decided to go on a camping trip with them because she was starting to feel left out. And by the end of the episode, they grow a bond together as sort of an unlikely family. And because that, Anne builds up enough trust to tell her about the music box and how she got to Amphibia. It's very clear from that point onward that even the earlier episodes were building to that. They were goofy episodes about silly shenanigans about whatever, but there was clearly a deeper purpose to them, which is that they were building this connection with this family, and you were growing to love and appreciate them as characters. It's very well written stuff. The pace of this show is very intentional and very clever. Also, there are episodes with random side characters that grow and change and actually become a greater bond. There's an episode that is just a silly episode where Anne finds this, goes to this restaurant in the town, and she makes a bet with this chef, this food critic, to help this chef rebuild his restaurant. And that character actually appears later in the show, and those characters have a connection. And it's only through that one episode that you understand why those characters have a connection. And is it overall a super important connection? No, but it's very clear that those episodes matter and those characters matter. And so when you get to season 2 and they start going outside the valley and exploring other things on their way to Newtopia, and then you see Newtopia and you see all that, it's just so well written stuff. It's very clever stuff, and all the characters are so delightful in the show. Even the side characters like Wally or Mayor Toadstool, who isn't like my favorite character or anything, but Toady or Mrs. Croker, Yunnan, Olivia, like all these various characters throughout all course of the show were so well realized. When I got to the end of this show was so written and it gave me such a strong bond and emotional connection with these characters that by the end of rewatching this show, even though I've already seen this show at least 2 or 3 times through, I bawled my fucking eyes out. It broke my heart all over again. It has one of the greatest TV show finales I've ever seen. It just closes everything out on such a nice level with some of the greatest emotional... I mean, Owl House didn't even have that great of a finale, to be honest. And, that wasn't necessarily their fault, but this is one where you totally feel all of that. And I absolutely fucking adored this show. And it's just also it's a beautifully animated show. The voice actors in the show are amazing. Brenda Song is amazing as Anne. Hop Pop is voiced by Bill Farmer. Now, if you don't know Bill Farmer, he's the goddamn voice of Goofy. Like Disney Goofy. And he does an amazing performance. You have Keith David, for God's sake, as King Andreas, the overarching villain of the show. It's just an amazing work of art, this show, that's so well written, so well realized. The emotions, it's one of the best shows I think that Disney's ever created, and maybe just one of the best animated shows of all time. I feel like if you're gonna make a list of like top 10 animated shows, the ones that gotta be on it and is Avatar: Last Airbender, BoJack Horseman, Amphibia, Gravity Falls. There's some other ones that you can put in there and debate on, but at least those 5 gotta be in there, because holy shit, those shows are all perfect shows. All those shows maybe have some individual criticisms of certain episodes or certain plot lines or maybe things that you don't care for the most. But overall, I think you'd be hard pressed to find better animated shows than that group of shows. And this is just a great example of that. Let me know your thoughts, like, share, and subscribe.